basically just spend time with them, keep them safe. So you take Peter, you take Parker. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
This video is a little bit different because we don't actually have the puppies this week. As we discussed at the end of the last video, they're at the age and point now where they can benefit from being separated from Jazz, not living with her for a week, as well as being separated from each other. So they've been at 2 different homes. They went for a few days to one, then they got swapped over and went to another. We gave pretty detailed briefs to those people about what to do with them, what not to do with them, but the whole point is that they're meant to fit into someone else's lifestyle. So it's not too detailed a brief. Here is Jazz giving the handover to Gavin, who took one of the puppies.
I'll get up early, like 5 a.m. They'll toilet, we'll go out, we'll do, we'll do work with food, so they get fed early. Then we do some toy play, so they get a bit of an outlet there that's quite high drive, high arousal. They then get some liberty time, so they start to bring themselves back down. Then they'll go in for like a bit of a nap on the way home, toilet, and then they just go in their kennels and they'll sleep for a few hours. So they kind of go through this cycle, but they get all of the boxes ticked pretty early in the morning, almost all before 9 a.m. But then they sleep for quite a while. I'll bring them out again later in the day and they kind of do almost a similar sort of thing, replicated. They get some food, they get some play and liberty and things like that. They also then get some time with me. So, if they were in the middle of the day extra clingy with you, that could just be a habitual thing. They're like, oh, usually I get like the cuddles at lunchtime. It just depends. But then in the arvo, there's a bit more food and play and sleep. Typically I'll toilet them. The last time will be maybe 10 o'clock, sometimes 9:30, and they'll sleep through until the morning. So if you're going to get up later, you can toilet them later, but that's the expected time that they can not toilet for throughout the night. So for sleeping, I have them in the kennels, but you've got a crate that I've given you, so they can go in the crate for extended periods. They can be in there the entire night, but the expectation is that they don't toilet. If they do toilet, then that could be a stress sort of response or what have you, but it would be unusual if they were to. They typically have a different bark to their normal I want to get out. It's a very different bark if they're like, I need a pee or something like that. So you'll probably pick up on that pretty quick. Toileting, often when they come straight out of the kennels or crates, I give them the opportunity to toilet. So if you were to let him out of the crate inside and he's going to chill for 3 hours, I'd probably take him outside to toilet first. That's just to avoid accidents in your house. I don't care. You can make a mess if you like. They don't live in my house. Food, different ways you can feed it, scatter from the hand, click from the pouch, whatever. You don't have to use any of their markers. You can just feed them however. But if you need to use the clicker, like I'll talk about socialization in a second, but that means food from you and large amounts of food. So you can also just feed them from a bowl like a standard pet dog. It doesn't matter. Toys, they're teething. So anything you do with them in general, not just with play, but just be careful and be aware of their teeth. So the other thing is we try not to use, especially like while they're teething, any bite work looking gear or toys that have the material of bite work. So then, because they just want to chomp on everything and we don't want to create any bad habits or associations with stuff. So if we can avoid any of the bite work gear or what have you, that'd be helpful. But you can still play a little bit of tug. It's just gentle tug, they're just little puppies that are teething, that's all. But if they want to chase balls, if they want to play with a rag, if they want to steal your towels or something, have fun. Just be careful if you're going to pull it out, try to get away from and pull it. Well, hey, you're building drive, thank you. But you just got to be aware of the teeth, that's all. So do what you like there. But if you need to get them off something, probably just scruff them, just grab the scruff. They'll eventually drop it, and then you can move it away and go about your business. If you really needed to, you can choke them off something with their collar, especially if it was a safety risk, or use your finger and break stick them and stuff. But yeah, most of the time they'll understand what you're doing, especially if you sort of communicate to them hey, I'm not happy with that, do knock it off. Socialization, the goal is neutrality. So they already like dogs and people a little bit more than what we'd like. So if you're going to introduce them to people, it would be kind of not encouraging them to really socialize with a lot of people. They can accept all the pats and everything, we spoke about, you taking them to the gym and everything. So that's cool, great exposure. It's just the aim of that wouldn't be to get everyone to come over and pat the dog.
To try and minimize them finding reinforcement of going up to other people.
But
like just be cool around other people.
And if they do find that quite reinforcing, do something that then you bring them back to you and you're seen as more reinforcement than that other person. If there's any like bad things, you know, something that like could possibly give them a negative association to something, you can click give food just to change that, either make it positive or neutral, you know, you know, all that sort of stuff, but that's an option if you need it. One big thing we ask is just not to punish the dog or correct them or give like an aversive sort of thing to anything. Avoid things if you can, or like I said, just scruff them, take them off something and manage it. But aside from that, like, it's like, oh, don't do this. Well, what you can do is like, just live with the puppy. He's like just a pet dog for the week, you know. So if you want him inside a lot, cuddle and sit on the couch, cool. If you don't want him on the couch and he gets on, cool. Like, do whatever you need to do to get him off there and what have you.
That's it for this week, folks. Thanks for sticking around to the end. As always, there's more videos here that you can check out of the series of Peter and Parker, as well as another video that might be relevant to you. And if you want to keep following along with the series, you can follow me and follow Jazz right here. Thanks, guys.